In this video, I'm going to be talking about why it's really important to be yourself and how liberating it actually is, right? And I'm going to talk about my own personal experience. Growing up, I always looked at, mentors or people that, for example, that I looked up to and I wanted to aspire to be like them, whether it be Bruce Lee or if it's Chuck Norris or, it doesn't matter, right? And, when you get into business, oh, you want to be like Cuban, you want to be like, Damon John, whatever, whatever it may be, right? Or you want to be like Brad Pitt, whatever you want to be, right? But just remember one thing is that, those people are being themselves. And as we look at them and we see them on the media and we say like, okay, you know what, we want to be like them, they've done such great things and this and that, right? But the way that they did it, I'm pretty sure, is by being themselves, right? Which is the obvious. Now, there's nothing different. There's nothing much different between them and us as a human being, as a person. They're exactly the same as us. They've achieved a lot of success. We don't know what they've went through or what they sacrificed or what they even, what they did to get to where they are, right? And us looking at their success, of them being themselves, is us looking at them and saying, we're only seeing the good parts, right? We're not seeing like Bruce Lee, all the things that he went through, the short life he lived, maybe problems that happened to him. Or Oprah Winfrey, for example, who's one of the top, right? Look at Oprah Winfrey, like she's amazing. Like anyone would want to be on her show. And can you imagine like what she's been through? She's been through so much, growing up that, probably you and I would never even want to or be able to go through. Who knows, right? Now, anyone, for example, right? We look at some stars like Brad Pitt, for example, is one of my favorites. And for example, him, George Clooney, or any of these people, they look great in Hollywood and everything. Look at Kevin Hart. Look at The Rock, right? These guys work so hard, but they're being themselves, right? I mean, all of us have differences. Kevin Hart is short, The Rock is huge, and everyone's different, right? But they put in the work, and you put in the work by being yourself, right? So when you're putting the work in your health, your exercise, your business, your work, like working for somebody, you're a student, doesn't matter. But as long as you're being yourself, true to yourself, you tend to stay quite grounded. And when you stay quite grounded and stay, who you are, and this is from my own experience, right? I'm just sharing this with you. What I feel is like when I'm being myself, I I look at all those things, that are supposedly wrong with me, or I look at like, oh, I wish my this was different about my body, or that was different about my hair. Like right now, for example, my hair is gray. I wish it wasn't gray, you know. But you know what? That's me. That's me, and I gotta be proud of it. And my recommendation to you guys is find things in yourself that you guys like. Be yourself. Be proud of yourself. Whatever God gave you, whatever the universe gave you, whatever you believe, doesn't matter. But the point is, believe in you, right? Because inside you is something really great. And I'm telling you this from training thousands and thousands of people over the years. And some were doctors, some were lawyers, some were, all different walks of life, right? And I'm telling you, some were like, plumbers, some were electricians, some were, and you know what? All that aside, everything aside, whether you're a cop, you're a firefighter, doesn't matter. All of that pushed aside, it's the humans that we saw inside the martial art clubs. And that's what we love martial arts so much, because when you come in there, you put on everything, you get your time, all you see is humans. It's humans working with humans, right? There really isn't tech. Everyone puts their tech aside. And I can tell you that everyone had the same opportunity. And I've got students that, came in and they became top software engineers, right? And built the software platform for us, right? Like as a noble gift, right? In the beginning, I'm saying, right? We obviously had to spend a ton of money and time on the rest. But I'm just giving an example that this was just, one William Buchevsky, for example. He came in at 17 years old. He came back years later, and he's himself. That's exactly what he is. Others like, Joseph Valtellini, like he was himself, he still is himself, and he made himself, world champion in 14 fights, You know, there's so many examples. Troy Sheridan, um, Nidhi Arya, Money Gill. There's so many people that just from being themselves have become magnificent people that others look at and they say, "Oh, I wish I was like them," right? So my message to you guys is that being yourself is probably the number one thing that I've realized. You know, I'm going to be 50 soon, and I've realized that, you know what, all those things that I thought of when I was 20, 30, 40, or even a teenager are different now. Like, what do I value more about being myself? What would I like to change? I would like to go back, and I was myself. Don't get me wrong. I always loved myself and did everything, you know, all that. But there was always that side of me that, oh, I wish I was a little bit more like this. I wish I was a little bit more like that. You know, take that wish, but put in the work, you know, and that's the key, you know. And, you know, so far, just being happy with yourself, that also brings you a ton of opportunities. Because when you're yourself and you love who you are, like, I wouldn't be here on camera telling you guys this if I didn't really feel good enough with, you know, content enough to basically, you know, love myself, right? And it's even hard for me to say it still. I'm still working on it, but it's a constant battle, guys. Anyways, I wish you guys the best. Love yourselves. You guys are great. And that's a message, is just be yourself, because yourself is magnificent.